It was good, y'all. My name is CBH of CD Southern, and this is going to be the channel for Suthun Gridiron Darts, which is a game that I actually developed. And you can download the app at my website in the link below in the description. So it's actually a game that combines football with throwing darts. You can get it on iPad, tablets, Androids, and of course, iPhones. So today we're going to be going over the history of how I came up with the game. We're going to be going over how the format of how the game's played. I'm actually going to be playing a match for you against the computer so you can see all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So over the next couple of weeks, every time I play a game on here, I'm actually going to be having a topic of discussion for that week, whether it be sports, politics, pop culture, whatever it is. So let's just get right to it right now. So right here, if you're looking at the screen, Southern Gridiron Darts, you see the beautiful logo going on here. So you can play a game right here, and this is the free version in which you have ads. As you can see, a banner ad there at the bottom. So if I hit play game, you can go to the rule page. You have a quick instructional video that's about 3 minutes long, or you can straight up continue and go to playing a game against an opponent. Like usually it's going to be somebody else, because in this version, you can't play against the computer. So let's go back real quick and go to upgrade. So you can go to the upgrade page, and for just $1 a month, you can get the app with no ads. You can create team names, helmet colors, skill level, or add skill levels, add teammates, so you can play with 2 people at a time on the same team. You can create player names, and it can track your statistics for a game. Or you can pay just $10 for the entire year and get all those same upgrades. And as you can see below right here, in the advanced app, you can do career stats and create a league. Now, that's not available right now because I'm still working on the funds to be able to develop that. So with your support, if you go to cd7.com, as you can see there around the screen, you can download this app and then hopefully get the upgraded version so it can contribute to me being able to add features like being able to create your own league, also track career stats, and also play against people from around the globe through the app. All right, so I'm going to upgrade real quick, and then we'll get to the game. All right, so now this is the upgraded version. You see the banner ad is no longer there. All right, so here you can choose to play against another human, or you can go against the CPU. For right now, let's go human against human. We're not going to stay that way, but let's do it for right now. So here you can, as you can see, you can pick teams, players, helmet. We'll go to teams. First, we'll just put in, how about we do ATL. That's where I'm from, by the way. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. What's up, what's up? And we'll go against NOLA, New Orleans, obviously. So you got ATL versus NOLA up there. So you change the team names. Now you can go to players. Now here for ATL, you can play 1 versus 1 or 1v2 or 2v2. So I'm going to put a 2 here for ATL, and then I'm going to go against 1 NOLA player. So right here, you can put in your name. If I go up to player 1 name, I can put in CBH. All right. And I can put in my skill level. Now, depending on what skill level you put in, it'll determine what kind of rules you have to play based off of. So rookie level is the easiest level. Then you got veteran, MVP. Today, I'm going to be playing MVP. Not that I'm that great, but rookie level and veteran level a little too easy based off of what I'm eventually going to be playing against the computer. All right, so if you're playing with a teammate, as you can see here, player 1 assignment, you can either play offense, kicking, and punts, which means you're responsible for all throws corresponding to offense, kicking, and punts, or you can play defense and returns. You do defense and returns down here, which means you're going to be throwing for your team for all throws in correspondence to defense and returns. Lastly, you can also do alternate turns. So essentially what that is you have a set of throws, your opposition throws, then your teammate has a set of throws, and then the opposite throws again, and then it'll be your turn. So you're essentially alternating turns, not alternating throws, but alternating turns, which is kind of different. Now, if you choose alternate turns, then both teammates have to play at the same skill level. If you do offense, defense, one player plays all offense, one player plays all defense, then as teammates, you can do different skill levels determining on how comfortable you are in the game and playing. All right, so let's go back real quick. Go back. All right, cool. Now let's go to, back one more time, CPU. So now with CPU, as you can see, there's 5 different skill levels you can play against the CPU at. If you look at tips, it'll let you know what skill level you probably should be challenging. I know there's a lot to pay attention to right here, but don't read this whole thing. Just know that for CPU walk-ons, those are people who have maybe never even thrown a dart before in their life. You play against a CPU at rookie level. That means you've tossed darts occasionally in the garage or basement with friends. Veteran level means you probably are good enough to play in a pub league, a local pub league. CPU level, you could compete in national tournaments. You know what I'm saying? And then CPU legend level down here means you're essentially a pro. You really should be getting paid to throw darts. All right, so let's go back real quick. So I'm gonna play against the computer at the veteran level. All right. So now let me go back, change the CPU's name back to NOLA. All right. To make this interesting, that's a classic rivalry, Atlanta versus New Orleans when it comes to football. All right. So now let's go to, all right, make sure, all right, one player, that's me. Make sure I change my name again, CBH. All right. And I'm going to play at MVP level. I'll explain a little bit about the different rule sets for MVP, rookie, and veteran. So now let's go down to helmet. All right. So here you can change the helmet color. So first I'll start with the helmet color. I'm going to change it to black and then go next. And then I can change the grill color. So I'm going to stick with gray. And then now I can change the number color, which I'm going to go with red. All right. And so for NOLA, let's do gold, black, and black. Boom, there we go. Now let's continue on. Go through this page again. I'm not going to go through the rules page. I'm just going to explain a little bit for you. All right, and here we are. We got play game, ATL versus NOLA. Let's hit it. All right, so to start the game, you both players or both teams throw a single dart, and the closest one to the center gets to just wins the kickoff, or wins the coin toss, I should say. And then you can determine if you want to do a kickoff or if you want to return. All right. So obviously, since the computer cannot throw, I'm just going to throw a single dart, and if I can get it in the bullseye, then that means I've won the coin toss. If I cannot get it in the bullseye, then that means the computer's won the coin toss. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. Boom. Got in the bullseye. So that means ATL wins the toss, and I think I'll go ahead. I'll receive the kickoff. How about that? All right. So here I am. I'm receiving the kickoff. That means the computer's going to kick off to me. As you can see, there's a little asterisk up there above NOLA. 76-yard kick by the kickoff or by the computer. So I'm going to accept the touchback here. If the computer, so the way the kickoff works, depending on where you hit on the board, it will time. So like, let's say it'll times whatever number you hit by 4. So let's say I hit number 9. I hit section 9 on my kickoff. Then that means it'll times it by 4, which makes it a 36-yard kick. And then you return the ball by aiming for section 9. All right. The other team returns the ball, aims for section 9. Now on a kick return, if I hit the single section of 9, then it's a 10-yard return. If I hit the treble section, it's a 20-yard return. If I hit the double section, it's a 30-yard return. If I hit the outer bullseye, the green area, then it's a 50-yard return. If I hit dead center, the inner bullseye, then it's a 100-yard return, which means a return for a touchdown. All right. So I accepted the touchback here. I could have gone and returned the ball there, but didn't feel like doing that. So let's go. I just accepted a touchback, especially on MVP level. So let's get to the game real quick. All right. So that's one thing. The whole reason I didn't go for a big return there on that touchback is if I go for the bullseye, I have to call my shot at MVP level, which is, what I'm playing right now. If I was playing at rookie level, I wouldn't have to call my shot. So that means I can aim for the bullseye anytime I want to. On MVP and veteran level, you have to call your shot to aim for the bullseye. And if I call my shot on MVP level, then I have to either target outer or inner bullseye. Anyway, we'll get to that later. So now I'm on offense right here. I get 3 throws, first down, second down, third down, and I have to get 30 yards each. And here, I'll throw first so we can get into this. I worked out this morning, so I'm a little rusty here. All right, good deal, good deal. All right, so hit 20, 20, 15. So I'm going to punch this into the game, all right? Outer 20, outer 20, and outer 15. So as you can see, the ball's at the 25-yard line of NOLA. So what that essentially did was add up 20, 20, and 15, and that's the amount of yards the ball moved down the field. Now, the computer is playing defense, so they're trying to match each throw I did. All right. So if you're able to match the throw in the single section, then it's essentially a no gain for that throw. If you're able to match it in the treble section, it's a 5-yard loss. If you match it in the double section, it's a 10-yard loss. Now, after every single match, oh, cool, I got a first down. All right. So now after every single match, then the defense has an opportunity to force a turnover if they choose to. All right. So obviously the the computer matched me on one of my throws, but I picked up the other two. So I got the 30 yards. So now I'm still on offense. Let me go again real quick. And that's not great. Treble 5. There we go. There we go. Pick that up. Pick that up. All right. So I got enter 1, treble 5. So that's 15 yards pending because you add 10 yards to whatever number you hit. And treble 30 is 30 yards pending because you add 10 yards to whatever number you hit. So let's see what the computer can do with that. All right, they matched the first one. Now, because I'm playing at veteran level, any level, when you're playing against a computer, if you hit trebles, they're going to be harder for the computer to match than singles. And same thing with doubles are harder for the computer to match than trebles. Also, if you're able to hit doubles, then increases the chances of the computer missing the board when they try to match your throw. If you miss the board on defense, then not only do you not match that throw, but you forfeit your next defensive throw. So that's actually why doubles are worth a little bit more than trebles in this game. Usually trebles are worth more than doubles, but in this game, doubles are worth more because you're taking more of a risk when you aim for the edge of the board. Because if I, on offense, were to miss the board in this situation, then that means that for that corresponding throw for the defense, they could force a turnover, try to force a turnover without even matching any of my throws. All right, so let's continue here. I got 5 yards I got to get. All right, and you notice how there's 8 minutes left in the game. So after every response throw, let me go ahead and throw this real quick. 8. So now after every response throw, which a return throw and touchbacks obviously count as return throws, and defensive throws, those are response throws. So you see there's 8 minutes left. Now I got the 8-yard gain, which I got a touchdown, bada boom, bada bing, and touchdown. And once, all right, you can do 1 or 2 point conversion. I'm gonna do a 1 point conversion, aim for the inner single section real quick. Let me get this. All right, boom. I like it. I like it. So I get the inner single section, conversion is good. And now I have 7 points, 7-0, and then another minute comes off the clock there. All right, because it was finishing up the process of that down. But essentially, 1 minute comes off the clock after every defensive throw or every return throw. All right, so I'm going to leave that up there. So now, because I'm playing at MVP level, whenever I do a kickoff or punt, I have to keep my dart within the treble, like treble and in. I can't throw to the outside of the treble section, or it'll be a miss punt. All right, let me go for 14. 9. So there you go. That's a 36-yard kick, and now the computer has the opportunity to return the ball here. 10-yard return. That means they matched in the single section of the 9. So boom, that's pretty much what's going on here. So let me go over a little bit about the history of the game. So I've essentially been playing darts just like anyone. I've essentially been playing darts with friends ever since we were back in high school. My buddy, Nick, Dave, Rob, and all of them, we'll play down in Nick's basement. And while we were down there, we would just be guys. We would just be throwing darts, very enjoyable. And we'll be talking about, high school stuff, talking about girls. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me try to match this real quick. 13, 12, and 11. All right. There we go. 13. What was that? 12. There we go. And now because I'm playing at MVP level, I hit the 12, but I in order to match the 12, I either had to hit double, treble, or enter single section. If I was playing at rookie level, that would have been a match. That last throw was horrendous. So obviously I have to input this. So sometimes if you're watching on YouTube, then it can sometimes be a little confusing because I have to input what I hit after the fact. All right. So 33-yard line, that's no man's land. Computer only needs 7 yards to pick up the first down. So let's give the computer office a throw, see what they can do. But anyway, so I'll be kicking around playing darts with friends. So I love playing darts since forever. And we'll just talk about any and everything. So that's why I came up with the idea of doing darts in Convo. There it is. There it is. So I was able to match that 9 right there. No gain, so a turnover on downs. Boom, that was 4th down. So anyway, so that's why I came up with the idea of doing darts and Convo videos. So I'll just be tossing darts, playing gridiron darts, and just having conversations about different subject matters in life, whatever it'll be. So the subject matters for these videos, like I say, it'll be like sports, a little bit of politics. I'll try not to. Well, I won't try. I won't be too abrasive when it comes to political topics. We all have our different views, but I'll just, share some of my thoughts on things. And, just different variety of things. Whatever it comes up to my head, I'm probably going to do a video on, One Piece, anime, whatever. I may even do some videos on Bridgerton, Love is Blind, whatever, stuff like that. And right now the computer's hurt me. End of the first quarter, so we've done 15 minutes. Now we're going on to the second quarter. And just different stuff like that. So the way I actually came up with this game, please don't create a turnover. Nice. All right, 4th down. So I'm going to punt here. So let's go over how a punt is done. All right. So as you can see with the punt, you see the area of the dartboard flashing here. I'll make it big real quick. So pause. Anyway, so punt deep, you got 20. I can hit the 20, 18, or 19 section. So essentially what that means is if I hit any of those sections, then the punt will go within the 10-yard line of the computer's end zone. Okay, but really don't want to take that risk because if I go for 20, you got 5 or 1 right beside it. And a punt, essentially, you take the number and you times it by 3. Well, I'm going to be safe here. Let me go for 16. There we go. All right. So a 48-yard punt, that's a safe punt. It didn't get within the 10-yard line, but sending the computer back to their own 14 is good for me. So anyway. So when I moved to Athens, I went to college at Georgia State first, and then I transferred to UGA to be with my friends and just need a change of scenery. And when I was there, football, Athens has a huge football culture. The Georgia Bulldogs, huge across the entire state of Georgia. Obviously, very big in the classic city, which is Athens. One second, let me get this. Come on. There you go. All right. I wasn't able to get exactly what I wanted there, but it's all good. Let's see what I could do here. So, I had a magnetic dartboard in my apartment complex at River Mill, which, by the way, those apartments just got torn down. Great location, man. It was River Mill Apartments right beside the stadium, like right across the street from the stadium and all that good stuff. But apparently they're going to be building some more, just a bigger model of the River Mill Apartments. But anyway, all right, D11. Oh, I'm not going for that. So right here, I'm going to try to create a turnover. So let's go call shot. So I'm going to aim for the outer bullseye. If I do veteran level, if you do a call shot, you can aim for the outer and inner. But at MVP level, you have to choose one. And since I matched my previous throw, that's the only reason I can try to force a turnover here. What's up? And that's what it is. So, boom, input, get that turnover, boom. And if you look at the top left, right below my my ATL and my name up there, you'll see that one of the white I guess, bubbles just turn green. That means I hit that call shot. So when you're on MVP level, you get 3 guaranteed call shots. And if you hit whatever you target on those call shots, whatever section of the bullseye you target, then for the first 3 shots, then you get a bonus 4th shot. That's why that last bubble is actually just a clear circle right now. You get a bonus 4th shot. If you miss any of the initial 3 call shots that you get, then you're guaranteed not to have that bonus 4th. You have to hit the first 3. Now, those particular call shots only correspond to defensive throws and returns. They do not correspond to offense, kickoffs, or punts. With offense, kickoffs, or punts, you have an unlimited amount of call shots. So you can aim for the bullseye however many times you want to on that scenario. Defensive returns, you only essentially get 3, a maximum of 4 call shots, opportunities to aim for the bullseye. Mainly because on offense, kickoffs, and punts, your opponent can always respond to that call shot. Well, defense and returns, your opponent can't respond to that call shot. It's like that's the end. It's the response. I mean, it's a defense or a return throw, so it is inherently the response throw, meaning it's not the initial throw like offense, kickoffs, and punts are. All right, enough of me talking. Let's get to this. So while I was up at UGA, all right, 9 minutes left. I had a magnetic dartboard in my apartment. All right, cool. And I'll just be playing in there and stuff like that. And like I said, being naturally influenced by the atmosphere being in Athens, I was just like, hey, man, I wonder if there's a way in which you can change darts or you can mimic a game of football by throwing darts. And that's essentially how, make sure we're still recording here. That's essentially how I ended up coming up with the game and just coming up with different ideas of how it'll work and stuff like that. So, and this was way back. This was 2 decades ago, back in like 2003 and all that good stuff. And I was just constantly coming up with ideas and like, okay, how this will work or how I'll be able to move the ball. At first, I think it was like a 20 yards would get you a first down, but then I was like, nah, that's too easy. And so I moved it to 30 yards. And at first, it was like for turnovers, it was like on defense, you could force a turnover with every single throw. And I was just like, nah, that's too easy because there wasn't enough strategy. Why wouldn't you just aim for bullseye every single time? So what I did was I changed that to you have to actually match a throw before you can aim for a turnover. And then as time went on, I started thinking about what about people with greater skill levels than me. And then over the past 2 decades, my skill levels have improved because I've played darts so much. One second, let me try to get this touchdown real quick. I'm already up 7-0, 4 minutes left. Let me focus on this real quick. I wanted to get the treble right there. Once again, it's harder for the computer to match trebles than it is singles. So anyway, over the years, I just came up with the game. Most of the ideas for the game started out in those first 5 years when I was developing, really the first 3 years, but first 3 to 5 years, I came up with most of the ideas. Nice, another touchdown. I'm getting lucky right here. Usually when I play at veteran level, all right, that's my 1-point conversion. Now this is my kickoff throw. And I hit 9 again. But yeah, usually when I play at veteran level, I can get blown out. If I'm playing at MVP rules and CPU veteran, I can get blown out in this scenario. Now this game ain't over. I'm only up 14-0 with 3 minutes left. And see, look, 20-yard return by the computer just as I'm talking. So 2 minutes left. I just need to keep the computer 19. I want to keep the computer out of solid field goal range here. Solid field goal range is 30 yards and in closer to your opponent's end zone. Let me hit this 19 real quick. Earned it. Okay. Barely missed it. Okay. So anyway, so I'm going to have the computer actually throw a field goal. Field goal try computer because not likely to get close enough to end zone that last throw. And the reason I did that is because there was only 1 minute left in the half. And so it's halftime. So now the computer is kicking off to me. Actually, I'm kicking off to the computer. I forgot I received the first kick. So the computer's about to get the ball back, scored 3 there. All right, let me do this kickoff real quick. But even though I had a lot of the idea for the game in my head, I developed the rules like roughly, 15, 20 years ago. The technology wasn't there. We're talking about this is 2005 to 2008. Ooh. Okay, so what essentially just happened for the computer there, computer quote unquote missed the board, which is a missed return, which is like a muff punt or a muff kick. And when you miss a return, you automatically give possession to your opponent, which, man, I'm hoping this might be a blowout here. Triple eight. There it is. There it is. So that's 18 yards pending. Boom. There we go. There we go. Um, so yeah. So even though I had different elements of the game already, in my head, the technology just wasn't there. So nice. Another touchdown. Man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I usually on if I was playing on rookie skill level or rookie rules, rookie skill level or veteran skill level, like for me, then yeah, I could blow out the computer playing at veteran skill level like this pretty easy. But when I'm playing on MVP level rules, yeah, man, it's kind of tough for me to have a 21-point lead against, or I guess 18-point lead against computer here. But anyway, so yeah, so now the technology is caught up. So in the past 5 years, I actually started. Oh, and see now the computer's really stepping up now. Let's see what does computer do? Enter bullseye. So because the computer hit enter bullseye, I do not have to do a call shot. So I'm just trying to match the computer. And just I was talking junk about being up big on the computer. Here hits that enter bullseye just like that, like it's no thing. But anyway, all right, 21-10. All right, cool. So anyway, so yeah, so that's pretty much. So the past 5 years, the technology finally caught up to me. Take another touchback. I'll wait. I'll hold on to those call shots for right now. But yeah. So essentially, the technology finally caught up, and I've just been trying to build funds and things like that to try to be able to develop the app, and which has come this far. And now it'd be nice to have a little bit of help from y'all. So if you would like, once again, we have a link to my website, cdsouthern.com, in which if you're liking what you're seeing right now, you can purchase this or you can download the app. You don't have to purchase it. You can download the app for free. And like I said, if you have an iPhone, iPad, Android, tablet, you can do it, any of those. And you can download the game and you can play with friends. Like right now, I'm playing on a tablet. So I got a little tripod up and I'm playing on a tablet. So if you want to take this to a bar and you just have a little tripod, play with friends at a bar, and then you can get a little crowd around you watching you play. I need 10 yards for the first down. All right, 14. Let me go for that. Yeah, 11. Yeah, 11 yards. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. There we go. And or you can, like I said, you can play in your basement. You can play in the garage, whatever. You can play against the computer. That's the beautiful thing. All you gotta do is pay $1 a month, and you can get the upgrade version where you're playing against the computer, just like I am right now. And hope you have just as much luck as I am in this game. I started talking junk. And computer matched that throw. Let's see the computer force a turnover here. All right, good. All right, first down, 9-yard line. Here we go. It's beautiful. So it'll be easy just to pick up this game. All right, 14. Let me see if I can get this touchdown. So I'm also a writer. I published a book back in 2010. It was just a book about life. You can actually see it on the website if you like. Oh, there we go. 28 or 27. Let's not count my chickens. Well, they're hatched. And it was just a book about life at that point. and a little bit of poetry, and I missed the extra point, of course. I had to. You have to hit the inner single section, hit a extra point in that scenario. But so yeah, I wrote that in 2010, and now I'm working on a book in dedication to my mother, who passed away on New Year's Eve, 2022. So it was a little over 3 years ago, and I decided a few months after her passing to write a book in dedication to her, and it's kind of based off of the conversations we would have. And it's another book about life, but from a perspective of I'm in my 40s now, of a 40-year-old giving advice to my 20-year-old self, like in my late teens, early 20s, and things like that. And yeah, so it kind of means a lot to me. I should be done with the book before the end of this year. I'm making some solid progress. All right, let me focus on this set of downs real quick. All right, call out. Double 18. Call out means I'm calling for outer bullseye. And I missed the board. All right, so I matched the 12. And then, so call shot, I called out, and then enter 16, and then miss board. So they gain that throw. That's why you kind of sometimes you have to make a hard decision if you're going for the double, any doubles hit, because you have the chance of missing board and forfeiting your next throw. So if you watch here, first down Nola, 25 yard, that would have been tough to match anyway. I think that's like treble 15. Let's see if that's a treble 15. It could be a treble 15 or double five. Treble 15. But I forfeited my throw, so that throw is pretty much uncontested. And so computer gets a touchdown. So that's the risk of going for doubles when you're on defense. But it's also the benefit for attempting to go for doubles when you're on offense. All right, right here. Do I really want to do a big throw? I don't want to do a big return. If I can let's try to make this a 3-possession game again. I'm just going to go for a solid return here. There we go. All right, here we go. But yeah, so the current book that I'm working on is just it's kind of like a letter of, not even just a letter, a book of advice to my younger self. A lot of the questions I had in life and about, love, just death, God, just so many different things, that religion in general, just so many different things that was going on in my mind at that time, so many questions I had, and a lot of personal soul searching that I was doing at that time. I have a better understanding of now. Oh, nice. 30-18. Oh, and that's not so nice. All right. I wish I had not hit that 3. Anyway, so yeah, that should be completed by the end of this year. And once again, dedicate to my mom, because we would have conversations like that. And it not only is it a letter to my younger self, but it's also kind of a final conversation to my mother, I guess you could say. So also on the website, you can go to CD Southern, the cdsouthern.com, and you can pick up some CD Southern gear like here. You got Southern Roots. You can see all my logos here that I created. The CD stands for Certified Dirtified, as you can see here. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, whatever. But certified, all right, let's see if I can get this touchdown. But let's see, let me focus on this. I want to get in trouble. All right. So yeah, CD Southern stands for Certified Dirtified Southern. Obviously, Dirtified is coined off of Dirty South, which that's a term that Cool Breeze of the Dungeon family, if you didn't know, little Southern history lesson. Cool Breeze of the Dungeon family coined the term Dirty South. Ooh, got the touchdown. Nice. That's a 16-point lead. I would go for the 2-point conversion here. Here, let me show you how 2-point conversion works real quick. So if I want to do a 2-point conversion, essentially you call any shot possible on the board. You got to hit the shot, then the defense responds. If you hit the shot and the defense doesn't match whatever you hit, then the conversion is good. You get 2 points. If you miss the shot, it's a fail. If the defense matches your shot, it's a fail. All right. But so let's go. If I do a call shot real quick, I can choose whatever location I want to hit. So if I hit 20, then I can choose inner, outer, double, treble, or the entire section. So any of those sections of the 20. I can also, go for bullseye. I can go for inner, outer, or the entire bullseye. Boom, boom, boom. But right now, I'm trying to win this game, so I'm not going to go for that. Never mind. I can't get out of it. So I guess I am going to go for it. That's why I shouldn't have done that. All right, let's have some fun. I should have went for the 1-point conversion. All right, here we go. Boom. Now let's see if the computer can match me. And that may be something I could change in the. Oh, nice. At least I got the 2-point conversion, 35-17 lead. I may change that a little bit in the coding. Have the option, like if you accidentally hit 2-point conversion, you can go back and choose 1-point conversion. I'll probably do that in the coding today. Nice, 14. Solid, 9 minutes left. Now, as you get later in the game, and if you have a double-digit lead, like with less than 10 minutes left, the computer starts making bigger throws, like on offense and on returns. Not all their throws are going to be bigger, but they usually have higher percentage throws that you have to try to match. If you have a 1-possession lead, like with like 6 minutes left or something like that, then the computer's throws goes up. Not reflected in this set of downs. I got lucky here. Because I certainly have a double-digit lead, but these are definitely manageable throws. As I speak. Nice. Yeah, call out. Go for that outer ball. Big, son. Big. All right. So first one I didn't get. That's 6. 5-yard loss on the 17. Boom. And then do a call shot, outer bull, and hit that outer bull. Beautiful, beautiful. So turnover, 6 minutes left. And now I don't have any more call shots left for defense and returns. Not that I need them right now because I'm absolutely obliterating the computer. But yeah, 35-17, 5 minutes left. Let's just run out this clock. Oh. Okay, let me have the defense respond. So when there is 4 minutes or less left in the game, then when you're on offense, as you can see the defense respond button here to the right middle middle part of the screen, I can hit defense respond here for the the throw that corresponded to the 4-minute mark. The first throw corresponds to the 5-minute. This one right here corresponds to the 4-minute mark. Just so I can get an idea of what I need to do or what I need to aim for going at the end of a game or at end of a half. So, like, if you're close to a field goal range and you're trying to decide, do I want to keep throwing or do I settle for the field goal? You can have the computer or the defense respond to see exactly where you're going to be on the field and things like that. So let me just make one more throw, try to get this first down. I need 5 yards. I'm not even trying to get a touchdown anymore. 14. I just want to get that. Just want to get that first down. So now the defense will respond. All right. So, but yeah, like I said, you can go on the website. What I want to do here. I can just do a field goal. You haven't seen a field goal yet. So, all right. So when it comes to field goals, from 1 to 15 yards, the target area that you're going to aim for is the inner single section, not including the bullseye, not including the treble, just inner single section. From 16 to 30 yards away from your opponent's end zone, it's the outer single section that you're aiming for, as you can see here. Not doubles, not trebles, just the outer single section. From 31 yards to 40 yards, it depends on what skill level you're playing at. If you're playing at rookie and I believe rookie and veteran skill level, you aim for the bullseye from 31 to 40 yards. If you're playing at MVP level like I am, then you have to aim for the outer bullseye alone, no inner bullseye. And then from 41 to 45 yards for a field goal, you aim for the inner single section, regardless of what skill level you're at. All right, let's see if I can make this field goal. Boom. So as you see, I hit the outer 10. Field goal is good. So I hit 3 yards there. And now let me do the last throw, 38 to 17. I definitely don't beat the computer like this when I'm playing at MVP level. So yeah, you can go on the website and pick up some CD Southern gear. Oh, no return, game over. Nice. So let me go over the stats and things like that real quick, and I'll show you game recap. But yeah, please, pick up some gear. You can still purchase my first book on there, and then when my second book comes out, you can purchase that. And once again, download the app. Spend $10. You know what I mean? Have the app and have all these features for $10 for an entire year. Come on, man. I mean, heck, really, that's like a McDonald's meal at this point. And I mean, $10. Come on now. All right. So anyway, so now let's check out the stats. So you have in-game stats. Put my glasses on. I'm starting to get old. Like I said, I'm in my 40s now. So anyway, so you can see the final score here is we have 38-17 was the final score. 5 offensive touchdowns. Not very good defense by the computer in this game. Not very good. Not much defense at all. I mean, even the computer is able to pick up 310 yards, which is actually kind of a lot. 357 is massive for me. As you can see, and that's mainly because I had an the computer had an inner bullseye. That's why they had 310, because that's 100 yards right there. But average 3.9 yards per play, 16 yards per throw. So 16 yards per throw is how many yards I averaged whenever I throw. The 11, roughly 12 yards per play is after the defense has responded. So that's actually the yards I actually picked up. 12 first downs is ridiculous. You very rarely have double-digit first downs in the game. That is absurd. Usually, if you're doing well, you're around 6 first downs in a game. So 12 is ridiculous, which is why I have 38 points. 5 for 5 on first down or first and goal situations. 30 offensive plays, which is massive. Usually, you only have 30 offensive plays is your opponent is scoring quickly, which means you have the ball a lot. But in this scenario, the defense just wasn't up to par for the computer. So, and we'll see that on the next screen. This is the offensive stats. 7 trebles. I like to hit 1 treble per every 3 throws. Right here was 1 treble per roughly a little under every 4 throws. So that's pretty much what that was at. Computer hit 2 doubles, 2 trebles, and that inner bull. Let's see what we have on the next. This is your defensive stats. So I only matched 7 throws, which is not necessarily a lot. But then again, the computer only had, I forgot the offensive plays, 17 offensive plays. That's why I had only 7 matches. So as you can see, my match percentage, 41%, which is really good. My singles match rate was 58%, which is massive. Usually I'm around 40%. So if you're around 40%, you're doing pretty well when it comes to single match rate to have, and you also want 40 or not. You also want 41% on your total play match rate. It just depends on how often your opponent hits treble and double sections. Matches for loss only had 1. Computer had 4. 3 and outs. I had 3. Decent shutdown defense. Looking at the computer, the match rate for the computer 26 is horrendous, which is why I kept the ball for so long. Had so much possession. 2 turnovers forced. That's big time. 1 forfeited throw. Let's go to special teams. We both had one field goal and average field position, starting field position. I start off at my own 40-yard line. Computer started at 36. Both of those are actually pretty good starting positions. Average kickoff yards 42, 60 for the computer. They had a couple of touchback situations. 48 yards per punt. That's because I only had one punt. Computer had 8 returns. That's because I was scoring so much. You usually don't have 8 returns. To have 6 returns is generally a lot. But yeah, 2 touchbacks kicked, 1 missed return. So having 2 touchdowns, and we'll go over the game recap real quick. So game recap, I had 2 turnovers and the computer had a missed return. So right here on the game recap, as you can see, it goes quarter by quarter when it comes to minute by minute, quarter by quarter action. So that 15-minute mark, the computer had a 76-yard kick, and I accepted for a touchback, and I got the ball at the 20-yard line on my side. The L represents left side. If there's an R, it represents right side of the field. All right. So, and then as you can see, the red means defense stopped the play. That -5 is a 5-yard loss. You actually can go up to Legends, and it explains all of this for you right here, which I'm not going to, but boom. If you wanted to, you can see it right there. So yeah, that first possession of mine, 15 to 7 yard, from 15-minute to the 7-minute mark, and ended up getting a touchdown. So took out a lot of time there. And then the computer, got a first down, and then they got I was able to get a turnover on downs by the computer. Let's see here. So I got my turnover in the second quarter in that 10-minute mark. That was big time. I'm loving that. And then I was able to go up 14-0 after that turnover at the 4-minute mark, and the computer was able to get a solid return. I had a bad kickoff, 36-yard kickoff, and the computer had a 20-yard return, as you can see, at the 3-minute mark, and was able to salvage 3 points. So ended up 14-3 at halftime. And then go to the third quarter. I ended up scoring pretty quickly because computer did a missed return, which really hurts. Really hurts in that scenario when you're only down 14-3. You're trying to get back in the game, and yet you give up 7 points. Now you're down 21-3. But the computer bounced right back with 100 yards on their first offensive play of the half. But then I came back and scored and things like that. I'm not going to go over any more of the details here. I'll get down to the fourth quarter. Computer scores immediately starting the fourth quarter, but I came back, responded with 8 points, get the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Beautiful thing right there. And then pretty much it was a foregone conclusion. Got 3 points at the end of the game, ended up with a 38-17 lead or win, which I normally don't. I don't beat the computer playing at veteran level while I'm playing at MVP rules like that. So that's a pretty good way to start this. But anyway, so yeah, that's Southern Gridiron Darts. Not all the videos are going to be this long. This is pretty long, but that's because I'm explaining the game in this video. Future videos are not going to be this long, and they're going to be split into 2. So you're going to have a snippet video, which only is going to involve the parts where I'm talking about whatever topic of discussion that is on that week, which probably won't take me the duration of the entire game. And then I'll have a full game video, which is the same as that game, and it has the discussion of the topic, but it covers through the entire game, so you can see the result of the game if you're interested in that. And I'm going to be flipping out, which teams and different colors are represented here from week to week. As you see, today I had ATL versus NOLA, so that made it feel especially good to win 38-17 over NOLA. But yeah, so that's Southern Gridiron Darts. I hope you like this game. I hope you download the app. You know what it is. And then hey man, drop $1, drop $10, whatever. All right, $10 for a year. Once again, that's nothing for you. That's nothing. But anyway, this is the end of the first video, Southern Gridiron Darts. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week.